What a waste of time and money. My degree, my teaching degree, was totally worthless when it came to homeschooling. Hey friend, welcome to my channel. My name is Mandy, the Handmade Homeschooler, and I'm going to tell you some of the things I wish somebody would have told me when I started my homeschooling journey, or really when I was just learning all the things about my homeschooling journey and what it was going to look like. And I feel like these are things that aren't really talked about a whole lot. And hopefully it will help you, especially if you are kind of newer to the homeschooling world, or if you're like me and you've been here for a while, maybe you can nod along and say, yeah, I really wish somebody would have said that too. Down below in the comments, tell me something you wish somebody would have told you when you were first learning about homeschooling. Also, down in the description box, I have links to our free Christian Facebook group where you can ask questions about curriculum and all kinds of stuff. And I also have links to curriculum trials and things like that, so you guys can get a head start on maybe this year's curriculum or next year's curriculum and see if you can find something that you enjoy. What a waste of time and money. My degree, my teaching degree, was totally worthless when it came to homeschooling. It was completely useless. And people get so surprised when I say that, especially online and in the secular world. People are like, oh, but you're a teacher. You know, this is nothing for you. Oh, no. You don't understand. Because I went through, teacher training, I went through the process of getting my bachelor's degree, and I have a bachelor's degree in elementary education. And because I did so much time in the classroom, I had to unlearn everything. And I still find myself kind of getting caught in that trap. And sometimes I have to stop myself and go, okay, wait a minute, back up. This is two children. These are my children. This is not a classroom of 35 kids where I have a principal and a school district breathing down my neck. So, honestly, my degree actually hindered me, and my classroom experiences in a lot of ways hindered my homeschooling process and journey. So if you're feeling bad about yourself, or if you're feeling unqualified to teach, just know that really going through the whole thing is just a waste of time and money, and it's totally unnecessary. And on the bright side, you're not going to have to unlearn all the bad habits like me and a lot of other teachers had to do. Any other former teachers who are now homeschoolers, tell me, did you go through the same thing, or are you going through the same thing? Because I still find myself getting caught in that trap. Buy school supplies in bulk. Sam's Club, Costco, whatever you have, or Amazon. Amazon is, you guys know I'm an Amazon queen. If you can find basics for a good price, buy your basics in bulk. And I'm talking like pens, pencils, all of that stuff that you're gonna have to use every year. Buy it in bulk, because I buy one time and sometimes that lasts me 2 or 3 years. I think I bought one of those big boxes of pencils. I've showed you guys this in other videos. I have only had to replace it, I think, once in, so many years of schooling. I think 7-8 years of homeschooling, I've only had to buy one box. So if it's something that you're going to use every single year, buy it in bulk and store it at your house. It's so much easier. You don't have to teach everything. That was a realization that I have come to over the last couple of years, and I have realized that teaching my children to be independent learners was one of the best things I ever did. And I don't have to teach every single subject. And there are classes my kids can do completely independent of me, and it makes my life so much easier. And you guys really need to give this a try. When they're little, teach them how to do schoolwork. Show them how to use the teacher books. If you want to give them the answer key, that is totally up to you. I don't give my kids answer keys, but I do give them, things where things have to be corrected if it's not a subject that's going to be graded. And they can grade and correct their own work at some point. Now, there's plenty of oversight before I have people totally freaking out on me in the comment section. I give them oversight. I manager. Think of it like in a manager position. I manage and I know there's a lot of oversight, but I don't micromanage. I don't hold their hand, and I teach them how to be independently learning from me and their dad. It is so worth it, and I get about half my day back because I don't have to spend all my time grading and looking over things. I've totally taught them how to do it themselves. So next, time. The kids in our district go to school for like 6 to 7 hours a day. My kids are done many days before lunch. And a lot of times when people hear that and they're unfamiliar with homeschooling, they think, oh, well, they must not be learning anything. My kids are at school for 7 hours. It's a quantity versus quality type of issue here. The amount of time spent in the classroom is not equivalent to the time they are learning in the classroom. And a lot of times people don't understand that because they're not teachers, so they don't know how much time we spend passing out papers, collecting things, yelling at them to calm down so we can teach a lesson, and going to and from everything. I don't even want to know how many hours I've spent in a hallway walking my class to and from places. Assemblies and lunch and PE and water breaks and bathroom breaks. Homeschooling is like the condensed version of public school in a lot of ways. It sounds really weird, I know, but follow me here. Homeschooling is a condensed version of public schooling. You're taking all the best parts out about education and you're repackaging it for the amount of children you have. And no matter how many kids you have, I'm sure none of you have as many children as a regular typical classroom would have, and you're not going to be schooling them all at the same time. So while it might take 45 minutes to an hour to teach history to a class of 35 kids, it's probably not going to take you nearly as long to teach it to 1 or 2 children, or even 4 or 5. And you're not going to be spending so much time on trivial things where a classroom teacher would have to do that. So this next one, I don't want it to sting. Just know that up front. I mean this in love. In the first weeks of homeschool, we're using a lot of times brand new curriculum. Sometimes people don't realize it, but when they switch from different curriculum brands, they might be switching styles by accident. So you might end up going from Simply Charlotte Mason to Abeka, not realizing those are 2 totally different types of styles of teaching and learning. And so that can throw your kids for a loop sometimes. And when they're used to one thing and then they switch to another, you got to give them time to adjust. And sometimes different things like fix-it grammar, they build each year one upon another, kind of like Lego bricks. And they're learning those concepts year after year, but it's like building blocks. They have to have that foundation, and sometimes it takes a little while to lay that foundation. But if you bounce around every single year with a different curriculum brand, it's really hard for your kids to build that foundation. So try not to get frustrated in week 3 or 4 when it feels like the tears are flowing and the kids are not getting it. Give it time. When we switched from Abeka to Fix-It Grammar, it took my kids a little bit of time to adjust because they were so used to sentence diagramming. I don't know if a lot of you remember sentence diagramming. That was the bane of my existence back then. I hate doing it, I hate teaching it. And around grade 3, 4 in Abeka is when they start sentence diagramming for grammar. My kids, especially my youngest was fine with it. My oldest hated it. Now, it wasn't even that he was bad at it. He just really disliked it. He was like me. I'd rather do anything else but diagram a sentence. My youngest, he was a whiz at it and did just fine. But I wanted to try Fix-It Grammar, and I thought, you know what? We're spending so much time on grammar with Abeka. Let's try Fix-It. Now, I switched styles, so it took them months to switch their brains from Abeka to IEW. So give it time before you throw in the towel, because a lot of frustration could be taken out just by waiting and being really patient with your kids. Now, that doesn't mean we should force them, against their will to do the thing that they hate to do over and over and over and over again. Maybe give them a little bit more assistance and a little bit more guidance until they get it down, and be really patient with them, because it does take a while to switch your brain from different styles. Give it time. I was really glad I stuck it out with IEW, with Fix It Grammar and Structure and Style, because now we're in year 4 and we're just coasting. And by the end of that first year, I knew I had stumbled upon something that was going to be with them for the rest of their school career. But we had to get through that first year. And so that's really what I want to explain. Try giving it some time before you throw in the towel. It might actually work and click after a while if you stick with it. This next one, you know, it's one of those things, like, as a teacher, I know this in my head, but I have to, like, keep telling myself this. But no curriculum is perfect. And I spent a lot of time that first couple of years trying to find the perfect curriculum. There is no perfect curriculum. There's just not. There's going to be something that you dislike in probably every single one of them out there, or something that you disagree with theologically, or something that you just have to switch out because your kids hate it. And that's totally fine. Find one that seems to be the best generally all around, that you really like, and especially one that you agree with theologically, and then go from there, and then make changes based on that. And that usually is going to give you the best results. So again, I would love to know, what is something that you wish you would have been told? I feel like it's a good video to kick off the school year with. We are just now finishing up our first week of school here at the house, and I feel like it went really well. There's a lot of, like, crazy things happening in my family right now, but you know what? School is going great, and I'm really happy with it. And I feel like we did a good, we definitely had a good first week. I will see you guys in the next video. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and happy homeschooling.